everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where you might be joining us from in the world today. Hi, and thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you are just as excited as I am to start Power to Fly's virtual job fair. Now, this has been a part of our summit for sales strategy. We've got our partners in the room today, and they're going to start with an introduction of themselves and their companies in just a moment. Now, before we do that, I want to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Meg, and I am an events host with Power to Fly. Now, in case you don't know anything about us, we are a career platform committed to creating more equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging in the workplace. If you have questions and want to learn more about the values of our partner companies as well, please feel free, send in questions in the chat box in Zoom. We would love to get as many answers to your questions as we can today. If you have questions about available opportunities at our partner companies, what you're going to do is you're going to go navigate to the virtual job fair landing page. So in your browser, obviously outside of Zoom, you're going to click on the company name that you're interested in and then click on jobs. From there, you'll be able to search and even apply to open roles. Now, just make sure that if you are prompted to continue an application or to apply via a company's website, you go through and follow the prompts that it asks you to do. And if you've got further questions, please feel free to stick around for the breakout sessions. Those are going to happen starting at the top of the next hour. So before we jump in, I just want to go over a couple quick housekeeping items, especially useful if maybe this is your first virtual job fair, in which case, hi, welcome, we're so happy to have you. Or maybe if you haven't been to a virtual job fair with us before. So what you are going to hear during today's event are some main stage presentations like we talked about. And then afterwards, you're going to be able to join a breakout session based on your skill set to talk to recruiters from the various companies. And this might be different from other virtual job fairs that you've participated in. Again, you're not going to pick a breakout session based on the company you want to speak with. You're going to pick based on your skill set and the kinds of roles that you are looking for. Now, we're going to have two options to pick from. One is engineering and technology. That's going to include things like program, data, engineering roles, et cetera. And the second room is going to be for product and design roles. Now, just know that we'll go over the protocols and how you're going to get into the breakout sessions and stuff a little bit more later on in today's event. Now, last but not least, I do just want to say that if you are disconnected at any point from today's online presentation, do not stress. Don't worry. You can always rejoin us using the link you used earlier. You'll be able to get right back in. There will not be a waiting room, and we will be happy to have you rejoin us. So no worries if you need to drop or come back. No worries there at all. Now, if you do think that you might need, lose internet connectivity, you can always dial in from a mobile phone or a landline if you're a dinosaur like me who still remembers those. And if you do think you might need that number, you can find it in your audio panel in Zoom. Now, we do kindly ask that our attendees remain muted during the main stage presentation today, but don't worry, you will be able to come off mute and speak directly with recruiters once the breakout sessions commence. So before we dive in, last but not least, I just want to remind everybody, keep that chat section in in Zoom humming. We would love to get to know whatever questions you want to ask. The other thing that I want to highlight here is I'm always really interested to see how far our global audience spreads. So I'm coming to you from Toledo, Ohio. This is land that was indigenously cared for by the Fox and Kickapoo tribes in my area. So if you feel like sharing, let us know where you're coming in, dialing in from. Let us know whose land you're on. I'd love to find out. All right, now I'm about to turn the stage over to our first presenter. Mark is joining us from Art Processors. Mark, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. What should our audience know about you and about Art Processors today?
Thanks, Meg. Hi, everyone. Great to be here today. I'm coming to you from Wurundjeri land in Melbourne, and I'd like to just begin by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people, traditional custodians of the land on which I'm presenting from today, and pay my respects to the elders past and present. Also like to extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. So thanks for having me. I manage recruitment at a company called Art Processors. I'll provide a bit of an overview of what we do, because I'm not sure if many people will be familiar with us, but we're as it says there, an experiential design and technology company. That may not mean a lot to you, but essentially what it means is we work with cultural and tourism organisations to create engaging experiences for their visitors. So our origins are in an institution in Hobart in Australia called Mona. So that's quite a well-known institution now, but we were actually engaged by a person called David Walsh, who owns and operates that museum, and he actually created our company to make Mona a reality. So we still have two of our company founders with us, and I guess since those humble beginnings, we've now expanded into a team of 97 people. That's in both Australia and also the United States, where we expanded into about 4 or 5 years ago now. I've been with the company since early last year, and my role is to manage recruitment across both locations. In that time, we've grown from 65 to the 97 that we're at now. So it's been quite, got quite high growth from a percentage, relativity perspective. And I guess in terms of today, for me, it's really just to present our company to a new audience. Really happy to have a partnership with Power to Fly that we've just entered into, and that aligns with one of our goals, which is to continue to build a diverse and inclusive workforce. That's something that's really important to us because the work that we do is really geared towards everyday people in the population, and obviously that's a very diverse group of people. So it's important to us that the people that work for us are reflective of the people that we're creating experiences for. So and I can talk to that a little bit as we go. Next slide, please. So the next slide just highlights our values. So I'm happy to talk to a few of those. Diverse and inclusive, I've already touched on, but that's quite an important one for us. All of the values are pieces that we'll look for as part of our hiring process. So 60 to 70% of our roles do fit into like a technology or creative discipline. So we do have that culture of innovation. But I guess whilst the skills are important, I guess the person and the behaviors and the alignment with what we do and how we operate is equally as important. So our hiring process usually includes like a technically oriented interview and then one that's more like values based. And as part of our hiring process, we also ensure we've got diverse panels, so people from different parts of the business, and also good balance of gender on interview panels as well. In terms of some of the values here, I might just call out, collaborative. That's a really, key part of how we work and our success to date. Regardless of what role you work in with us, a lot of the work is project-based, and that requires people from a lot of different disciplines. So there is that need to work collaboratively, be respectful of your peers, manage expectations, and work through challenges. But there's also a heavy problem-solving element because we're often creating things from scratch and we're often utilizing technology we may not have encountered before. So that collaborative and innovative nature is really key for us, and Bold probably plays to that innovation piece because we're not a an environment where you're going to come in and know exactly what you're going to be working on every day. Every project's different. There's different challenges, different clients, and yeah, for people who enjoy being able to, push the boundaries a little bit and experiment with different technologies, it's yeah, definitely an interesting place to work. Yeah, so I think that's all from me for now, and yeah, I might pass over to Beverly.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for that dive into art processors. Cannot wait to unpack a little bit more of the org and your culture as we go through our questions later on.
Great.
All right, Pamela, you are next up. Pamela's here to talk to us about Cami. Pamela, what should our audience know about you and about your amazing org today?
Okay, thank you, Meg. Kia ora koutou, nau mai haere mai, ko Pamela Greeley, toka ingoa, e noho ana Tamaki Makaurau, Aotearoa, he kai whakahaere tangata ki Kamiahau. That is Te Reo, which is the language of our Indigenous population, the Māori. And I just said that my name's Pamela. Hello and welcome. I work for Cami, people operations, and head of people operations here. And we're based in Auckland, which is Tamaki Makaurau. So Cami is, you can see what it says on the screen there, that we're just on a mission to get positive learning journeys to everyone. We want to make learning as equitable as it can possibly be to anyone, wherever they are in the world, whatever their circumstance might be. Cami is the world's #1 digital classroom platform, which means that teachers and students can collaborate in classroom remotely. It was a real benefit to people during the pandemic because it lent itself really well to remote learning. Teachers can see in real time what students are doing. Students with differing abilities can use Cami. Cami will read text to the student. Cami will allow the student to talk to Cami and it will type the answers for them. A lot of special ed teachers use it. We use it for people who are hearing impaired because we've got in video app, which means that the students can actually do sign language in the app and the teachers can see what they're saying and respond in sign language. So it's a really great product for that inclusivity and diversity of ability. We're working very hard at the moment with neurodivergent communities to see how we can improve learning for them as well, because we know that people have got different styles of learning and they find standard learning, for want of a better expression, a lot more challenging. So we want to try and enable learning for everyone. The company started almost 10 years ago. We're coming up to our 10th birthday. We still consider ourselves a startup, even though we're now at 95 people. We started as a university project. We have 4 co-founders we've got 1 female co-founder, we've got 2 and 3 male. We'd like, nice if we'd got a better balance there, but the company itself is more than 50% female, which is pretty cool. Of our 95 people, we've got around 30 different ethnicities. We actively encourage different lived experiences into our Camily, as we like to call it. We call anyone who works with us chameleons. We like a good pun, and we also like lots and lots of different experiences, because that allows us to put that experience into our product, which goes out to around 40 million users at the moment, who all will have a different experience of life and learning. So my job is to find those people, and we want people who want to come in and do an excellent job and just help people be the best that they can be by supplying this fantastic learning platform. Next slide, please. So what do we stand for? So obviously diversity, which is why we're here today. We look out for each other. We make sure that everyone within the organization, as well as our users, are supported. We make sure that people get the training that they need, they get any support that they need. We're always looking at ways to do things differently. So we're all about the transformation. And also we always like to have a little bit of fun. I mean, who doesn't like fun when they come to work, right? You spend quite a lot of time at work. So you need to be able to have fun when you're doing it. So we've got a few values. I'm just going to bring up my slide here. So everything that we do we want to make the world a better place. And I know that all companies are saying this nowadays. Everyone wants to leave the world a better place. And I think that shows in companies who are actively living that. And that's what we do. Our teachers love us, our students love us, and people love coming to work. We've got a very low attrition rate for a tech company, and especially given the kind of the quick revolution and the fact that actually it's a real employees market. It's much better for job seekers because everyone's got really low unemployment in New Zealand. It's really cool for us that we're still attracting this really top talent, because that's what we want. And that makes it more fun for everyone else, because you can learn from everybody that we have in the organization. So everyone contributes. We trust in each other. We trust in karma, because if we put out good to the world, we know that we'll get good back. One of the key things that we say is don't be a dick. Leave your ego at the door and just come in, do the best that you can. If you need help, ask for help. If you make a mistake, hold your hand up and we can change it, we can fix it. We just want this to be a great place to work, because a great place to work makes a great product for our end users.